He is failing. Putin's approval slides as COVID-19 grips Russia.
Here's a summary of the article.
A day of record-high coronavirus infection numbers is an odd time to announce a route out of lockdown, but that's what Vladimir Putin did on Monday as he announced the non-working days imposed by the Kremlin at the end of March would come to an end from Tuesday. "We have a long and difficult process ahead of us with no room for mistakes," said Putin by video link from his residence outside Moscow, on a day when the country registered more than 11,000 new infections. "This is abdication of responsibility, the architect of Russia's hyper-presidential system suddenly discovering local authorities when it is convenient," said Mark Galeotti, a Russia analyst and author of a book on Putin. Since donning a yellow hazmat suit to visit coronavirus patients back in March, Putin has been largely confined to his residence, where he appears by video link to address the nation and cabinet. Russians who are used to seeing their president atop a horse or motorbike instead see a static screen Putin who often seems visibly bored. On Monday, Putin again looked less than enthusiastic as he simultaneously addressed both the nation and his government by video link. This is arguably the most serious challenge to Putin as national leader in the 20 years he has been in power, and he is failing it, said Galeotti.
This post received a score of 38,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Honest question, for someone who's entrenched themselves at the top of Russian politics for 20 years, why should he care what his approval rating is? Does anyone believe anyone will run against him in open elections at this point and not end up doing a COVID Dr. Swan dive out of a fifth-story window?
If the situation is really that bad, his concern won't be someone running against him, it'll be his inner circle deciding he needs to take a swan dive from a window or a Nicholas II sort of treatment.
Suicide by bullet to the back of head.
The horror of how easy it is when you do it to others and you start to apply that logic to yourself.
That is why inner circles are often eliminated by the top to make sure numero uno stays in charge. For instance, Kim Un from NK having his uncle executed.
Better example, every right-hand man Stalin ever had.
Molotov, Khrushchev, Beria.
He might only get 96% of the vote at the next election at this rate.
Probably around 108% this time.
With a margin of error of 8%.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably 116%.
In the US.
No, the US does voter suppression instead.
Nothing's off the table this year. I have a feeling they'll try every dirty trick possible to rig it.
Why would they have to? The DNC welcomed Trump in with open arms for the second time by fielding the least appealing candidate possible because losing to Trump would be better for the establishment than Bernie or any sane, rational candidate who doesn't live in corporate pockets would be.
Biden was a front-runner from the very beginning with the highest name recognition, political and actual capital, and years of experience in government. When he openly ran against over a dozen other candidates, he decisively defeated them. Now, does this mean he can beat Trump? I don't know, incumbents always have huge inertia. This fucking nonsense narrative that there is a grand conspiracy in the DNC to elect their opponents is just that.
Agree with most of this, but I would say the DNC set themselves up for this kind of talk when they did actively work to get Hillary the nom over Bernie last time.
Approval ratings don't really matter in autocracies. Greetings from Serbia.
In an open democracy, approval ratings means how much people agree or disagree with a sitting president's actions. Because it's easy to judge and hard to make everyone happy, presidents can do pretty well with low approval ratings. Being re-elected with approvals under 50% happens. So approval ratings show how well you control the narrative and how afraid people are of you. Then ratings are an analog to how much power you have, how much can you force people to believe something false is true, that 2 2 = 5, that the leader has 120% approval rating.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.